Fires. Over a period of 5 years, I have been collaborating with the artist Charlotte Hodes to think about the lives of women writers. Those writers have come into our lives almost accidentally, but as we have got to know them and explored their work, they have allowed us to develop and explore aspects of our own practice. We have thought about their relationship to poetry and places, and about their particular stories as women writers across a range of historical periods. Fires was developed as an idea after an important but almost casual discussion over dinner with the philosopher Rosi Braidotti, who was the university's 2016 Hope Street Writer-in-Residence, about the nature of poetry. My response to her question, "Poetry is a kind of stillness," prompted the short book Fires on display here. Fires might best be described as something that exists between a long poem and an essay in fragments, which asks questions about the nature of creativity. In some sense, then, Fires is a reinvention of the male mythologized fantasy of the Muse, that creature who would temporarily overtake the bodies of women, famously described by the poet Robert Graves in his book The White Goddess as the ancient power of fright and lust, the female spider or queen bee, whose embrace is death. Fires occur throughout the exhibition, in the little fragmented stories in the book, in images on walls and held within the display cabinets. Fires are energies, moments of reaction. Metaphorically rich, they have the capacity to energize and to transform. In the poem, each fragment burns like a little flame to ask questions about the internal worlds that open in a moment of thinking. In this film version, we focus on the image of a woman stepping forward and seeing a leaf fall in front of her. We use this framing image as an opportunity to think about what it means to create and our own collaborative process, which is so dependent on the relationship between word and image, as well as the shared spaces in which we work. In that moment, when a thought arrives, incoherent, not always discernible, sometimes formed in language, time is filled with the past memories, ideas, feelings, fragments, glimpses, moments of realization and of coalescence. In the space of a series of movements in which our body is in a state of complex interdependence with the world, in a series of embodied relations and neuronal firings, we ask, how do we find the place where a poem might occur? It is autumn, and the leaf falls in front of me. For a moment, I think I will subtly change the pace and structure of my stride and catch the leaf. To be with rather than to be beside. It is autumn, and a leaf falls. A bird launches itself from a telephone wire, and the leaf, flame-like, bird-like, caught on the breeze and the movements of the passing traffic, edges gently forwards, down, resisting the air until it reaches the floor, a pace or so ahead, rests on the pavement in front of me. Poetry is a kind of stillness. I think this is your question, a nudge towards asking what we might call, for a moment at least, a philosophy of lyric poetry. Oh, for a muse of fire. Lines of drift, with loops, knots, speeds, movements, gestures and sonorities. The rhythms of my movements think me. Somehow, a poem speaks in, through, across, to me. What does it want me to say? What moment is this when I make, or language rather, makes a shape of me, a self, a leaf, flash of composition, takes hold, falls? As I walk through the city streets, I am aware of all the conversations taking place. The city speaks its languages, human to human, phone piece to phone, human sounds to the digitized recordings of a self. Poetry, a voice answering a voice. Histories, worlds, birdsong as a leaf falls. A way of thinking holds time, stories, dramas, ironies, markings, breaks and unifies itself, the body's traces. Self-portrait in a prism. And to whom does the lyric subject speak except the world, intimate? And the poem hums, hovers, slips, splits, entangles, gets in line, feathers and flames, as intimate with the self, porous, as language, silence, lets it be. It is autumn, and a leaf falls, a red flame, a bird, a leaf, tongue, a shadow. It is autumn, and a leaf falls, rises, drifts, caught on the breeze, aeolian sings, movements of passing traffic, edges gently forwards, down, resisting air. What burns there in the distant orchards bears the weight of